Alrighty guys, we are going to get started in a second. We've got a couple of people still coming in, but we're going to get started anyway, just so we can kind of keep things on schedule somewhat. Firstly, thanks for all of you being here. This is the 6th Mastermind that we've run this year. We did the first one about 6 or 7 months ago, and the reason why I started doing these, there's a number of them, but first and foremost, I just saw that my network was quite wide and very, very varied in terms of industries and what people do. And one of the most impactful things that I've focused on in business since I started in business is networking and just building relationships, and the amount of opportunities that have come from that is absolutely wild. So at the very least, what you'll take away from today, or what you'll walk away with, is obviously, hopefully, a connection with everyone in here, but you'll also be added to our WhatsApp group, where each intake we're just kind of building out the list of, what we would refer to as high performers. And I think one of the key things that I want everyone to get out of today, one is just to be exposed to things that aren't normal for you or different to you, to get a perspective on your business and maybe some of the bottlenecks or roadblocks at the moment, and just have a perspective from people who are outside of your industry and can look at it quite objectively. Since our first one, we've ended up having a lot of business deals and introductions and connections and whatnot inside the group post these masterminds. So as much as today we've got a bit of a structure to it, and really just to give everyone a bit of insight about yourself, your business, maybe some of the limiting beliefs that you've moved through to get to where you are, but at the same time, what the challenge or bottleneck is for you at the moment. And ideally, we just want to be able to help facilitate each other, to be honest. And after each one of these intakes so far, I think everyone has walked away from them at the very least feeling very inspired to keep working on whatever they're building at the moment, but also just having, as I said, a different perspective, which is hard to have sometimes when you're in your own head, or if we're in a room with everyone from the same industry, it ends up becoming a bit of an echo chamber. So I would say today, obviously, a lot to do with business, but also the personal growth and the self-improvement side of things as well. I think it's pretty fair to say that your business and your life will never outgrow you, and so the more we can keep leaning into that personal development and the self-improvement, the better things get. And so there'll be a number of little points I'll kind of bring up throughout today. But as I said, this is the sixth one. And so we've been kind of refining somewhat of a structure for these each time. And I think we're getting pretty close to nailing it. So as I probably mentioned to all of you before today, there's going to be kind of two parts. The first part, we're just going to come around. We'd love for you to introduce yourself, obviously, and a bit about your business and what you're doing at the moment. I put in there revenue bracket. If you really don't want to, that's completely fine. The point of the revenue bracket is not an ego thing or anything like that. I think, as I said, it's just exposing people in the room to different things. And again, the law of exposure has been one of the most impactful parts of my growth, and just normalizing things that maybe are not normal for you right now. And then you'll finish that off in 2 sentences or less, what your biggest challenge or opportunity is at the moment. And round 2, we're going to come back around and kind of workshop some of those. So from a time perspective, I think it'll be quite difficult for us to spend enough time going through individually on each person's kind of challenge and roadblock. But what we will do is we'll essentially kind of almost do a bit of a vote for the 5, about 5 of them that we can all kind of work through. In saying that, sorry, I'm rambling a little bit here, but in saying that, you've all got a journal or a notepad, whatever you want to call it, in front of you. So as we go through round 1, what I'd love for everyone to do is kind of just on each page, just write down the name of the person that's speaking, take a couple of notes on what they do, and in particular, write down what they say about what their challenge is. And as I said, round 2, we'll kind of come back through and hopefully help each other out and facilitate whatever you're kind of struggling with at the moment. So I encourage you to be as vulnerable as you can. There's absolutely no egos in here, which is what I love about it. We're all equal, and I think there's always so much you can take away from other people's journey as well. So again, pumped to have you guys all here. We do have a couple more coming, but they can just stroll in whenever they get here. So let's dive in. Aiden, you can jump in first, brother. So name, what you do, revenue bracket if you're comfortable, and challenge at the moment, man.
Yeah, awesome. So my name's Aiden, as Danny mentioned, Aiden Domick. So I'm in peak performance, so mainly the mindset side of things, a lot of breath work, NLP, hypnotism-based stuff, which is really exciting. I get to work with a lot of corporates at a high level, and I get to work with sort of elite athletes as well. So it's pretty interesting stuff. I used to work kind of more that general pop side of things, but I used to find that the buy-in wasn't as high. So it was just harder to get that, momentum, and, obviously people that are trying to achieve at a high level, they've got so much more value to give, which is really exciting to work with those people and just give them as much as I can. So I guess my main sort of ethos is that we can achieve anything we set our mind to. And that's honestly absolutely anything. Like if you want to go from a certain level to another level, you can do it. And it's all about changing your identity to meet that version of you. So whether that's, I always speak about, I guess, if you see someone at a level come from, like a low benchmark to a higher benchmark, say, for example, someone who's, you would have seen it before, they've lost a lot of weight, or they've been, maybe morbidly obese, and they've come to a point where they've lost that weight completely. Like that's an identity shift, right? And the actual change from that lower level to that new level, it's massive. So if we look at the change from that to say where we're at now, currently as in this room, high performance, we can go from that high performance level to that next level. Like we can be the best in the world if we want to at our chosen, skill set or topic or whatever it is. And that's that next jump again. So I guess, that's my main sort of place and where I'm going. At the moment, I've got some pretty cool projects on the go. So my main one is, and again, bringing what I teach into my life as well. So trying to really go of the topic of staying in that and becoming the version of you that you want to be. I really want to do that as well. So even I was speaking to Darcy before about where I'm living. So I'm living in Geelong at the moment. And the reason for that is I was in Melbourne for 5 years, really amongst it during the day. But then I would step away from this mayhem during the day where I was always taking action, and I realised I was still in it. And I was teaching all my clients, hey, like, step away, like step out of it. Like you're always in it, step out of it. And in order to step away from things, that's where you're going to get a lot of clarity. But I wasn't doing the same thing. So I thought, okay, what can I do about this? So I decided to move to Ocean Grove. Did it one day, made that choice straight away, and that was an identity shift that I made that made me be able to kind of have that space to really grow into myself a lot more. So I've been there for a year now with my partner, which has been really cool. And just trying to develop that mindset in everything that I do as well. So at the moment, again, with that identity shift, I'm creating a new project, and I'm looking to bring together 100,000 people for the largest mental health gathering of all time. So it's massive numbers, obviously, a massive goal. And again, I was speaking to Danny about this on the phone. It's such a process. Like we've gone through restructures of what that brand looks like, of I guess a lot of reverse engineering, discovering what it's going to look like long term. Massive goals, and the way we're setting it up now is in 3 structures. So the branding is going to be called One Breath, so obviously tying into that breathwork side of things that I do, but we're starting with a community phase, a city phase, and a world phase, right? And that community phase is through 100 community workshops, so amongst different demographics. That next phase is a city phase where we're bringing in a lot of city activations, your festival style things, leading into that world phase to bring together 100,000. And that's going to be an online event to start with, but then the goal from that, once we pull that off, is to then hopefully potentially one day, the next 3 to 5 years, fill the MCG and do a joint meditation and breath work together. So pretty massive goal, but it's something I definitely, it's not just a pipe dream, it's one of those things that it's put a lot of thought into already. So it's definitely going to happen. It's just about how and when, and that's all going to shift together. So
Awesome, man. What would you say, just quickly, what would you say would be, if you were to put it into one sentence, what's the biggest challenge or opportunity at the moment that is going to have the most impact on making that happen?
Yeah, so the biggest opportunity, very much like what we're all doing here today, is networking, I think. And I think for like the basis of having that mental health at the top is that everyone can relate to it. And I was originally having it listed as a meditation, a joint meditation. So it's to break a world record for the largest meditation in history, right? But that didn't work because it didn't relate to everyone. But the beauty of mental health is that mental health isn't just a negative thing. Like, a lot of people put that negative connotation towards mental health, where it's like, this is what we're trying to do, this is bad. But it's like, no, like, mental health is a great thing. Your mental health can be great. And you're still speaking about mental health. You don't always have to have that negative victim mindset behind it. You can have that positive of, okay, we're trying to get here, we're trying to grow here, we're trying to evolve. So everyone can relate. So I think that's the biggest thing, and everyone can come into it as well, which is great.
Beautiful, man. Thanks for sharing. Awesome. Darcy.
Hi guys. My name is Darcy, and my businesses. So I have a clothing label that I launched 2 years ago now, and then I had a marketing agency. Oh my god, I'm so nervous. Excuse me. I haven't done public speaking in a while. But yeah, so backstory, my main thing is modelling. I started when I was 8 years old, and then when I was like maybe 22, I started my first business with a business partner, which was a marketing agency. And then maybe 2 years into the marketing agency, we started a clothing label together. So then we had two businesses together. And then maybe 6 months ago, we split on positive terms. So now I'm just doing the clothing label, and she took the marketing agency. So now I'm just doing modelling, clothing label, and I'm still taking on like a few marketing clients. So just like family and friends, I've been doing marketing on the side. And then what else? My partner and I built a tiny home out of a shipping container, which is so random. But we put it on my family's farm, so that's another sort of little business that's been doing quite well. Randomly booked out most weekends, and then we plan on maybe building more down the track, just because there's been good success there, and we've got the land. But yeah, so my main thing's modelling, and then the marketing on the side, and then the clothing label. But the clothing label's like my real passion project. Like, I'm really passionate about it. We've done maybe 4 collections now, 4 small collections. And it's been going well. It's definitely challenging. Yeah, I don't really know, like...
What's it called, the label?
It's called Ambition, so I'm wearing it. It started... We didn't really have much of a direction. We just kind of thought, let's just start a clothing label. Because I was in modelling. My business partner at the time, her background was in fashion. And so we thought, let's just give it a crack. So we started with terry toweling, which was very summery. That did quite well. We launched with very bright colours. I feel like it got a lot of attention, and that landed us in Maya. So we're still stocked in Maya, but we kind of have learned so much along the way. We started with massive quantities, which was just hectic.
Like a lot of units?
Yeah, a lot of units, sorry. Yeah, and so we still have like a little bit of stock, but that did sell well. And then every collection since then, just been learning a lot along the way, trying to sort of understand the identity of the brand and where I want to take it. So I feel like, yeah, that's where a lot of my energy has been going.
I love it. Off the back of that then, and then everyone else kind of put some thought to this as well for when it gets up to you. What is the biggest opportunity, or if there was something that you're able to move through at the moment, or have someone help facilitate, like what would have the most impact on your business at the moment from a challenge perspective?
It's so hard because I feel like I juggle, like most probably people in this room. In this day and age, I feel like most people are just juggling so many different things every day. We're not just focusing on one. And I really feel that because I'm still doing modelling, still doing my marketing on the side, doing the tiny home, and then a lot of random things come up. So the clothing label, I'm really trying to sort of carve out time to really focus on it, but unfortunately that's not where most of my money is coming from, so it always gets pushed aside. So I feel like that's where I've been really struggling, just try to make enough time to really focus on it. But yeah, probably gaining momentum, like, 'cause we've only really done 4 collections, and it's really hard because I've started to look at different manufacturers and stuff, but it's just such an expensive, it's just so expensive. And the quantities that you have to order are just insane. So last year, so I go to Bali for modelling. I've started to do that every year. So I found a manufacturer in Bali where we've been doing smaller quantities, and I've been working with them and watching them hand make, and I'm choosing the materials, and I've been really enjoying that process. But then, unfortunately, you're not getting massive quantities there. So it's like smaller quantities, and you're watching it get made, but then it's not enough. So then I go back to China, and I'm like, oh, okay, I want this, this, and this. Definitely cheaper, but more expensive because you need to order way more. So just trying to sort of get over that. So probably just talking to people that have done it before is probably would be helpful.
Beautiful. Really good. Thanks for sharing, Darcy. So guys, I probably should have mentioned this before as well. What I find quite effective with this, with the note-taking part of this, and because there will be a little exercise I'm going to encourage everyone to do after today as well. Almost structure your notes in somewhat of a triangle, as in you don't have to write in a fucking triangle, but the positive about what you really like about their business or what they're doing at the moment, where you see there could be opportunity, and at the top, that's where I want you to kind of just keep track of what the actual challenge is for each person. Hopefully that made a little bit of sense. Cool? Don't all talk at once. Belinda, I'm going to get you to jump in. So, intro, a bit about yourself and your business and where the biggest opportunity or challenge is for you at the moment.
Okay, my name's Belinda. I own a business called R3 Ice Compression. We're an injury recovery ice compression product. Started off targeting athletes, and it's now moving towards more a post-operative surgical recovery tool. Sorry, what was my biggest challenge?
Yeah,
what was my biggest opportunity?
Biggest opportunity and challenge at the moment that we can kind of chat through, or hopefully someone can be of assistance.
The biggest opportunity I feel is growing my wholesale channel into hospitals and surgeons. That's definitely the way forward for RE3. We've got a healthy direct-to-consumer business, but the growth potential in post-op is huge. And that's the biggest opportunity. The biggest challenge is getting the right team in place, I would say. I'm at a stage of scale and making sure that I want to keep a really lean headcount and just have the right people doing the right jobs is critically important. And I've learned this from making a lot of mistakes since I started and wasting a lot of money. And so to move forward, it's just having great people doing the right jobs.
Do you mind, and this is obviously not for an ego purpose, more so just for a bit of exposure for everyone in here, like what is roughly the numbers you guys are doing at the moment?
Do you know what? I don't talk about that. I feel really private about it, and people ask me all the time. I'm really proud of the growth. We're in a very high growth stage at the moment. I like keeping, maybe it's a fault, I like keeping my cards fairly close to my chest. I feel that what I'm doing is a little bit different, and certainly in the medical space, I get a lot of interest in people wanting to know what I'm doing, and I kind of want to fly under the radar a little bit and not draw attention to myself, and just keep my eye on. I feel like when I don't really want to know about others. I mean, that came out wrong. I am very interested, but I don't want to get distracted by what my competitors are doing. People love to send you stuff. I don't know if anybody's experienced this, that I've been copied, and I feel I get really distracted worrying about things that are out of my control, and so I keep my eyes firmly on the path ahead, and that's the way forward, and just block all that noise out and just do the best job that I can do. And I don't want to, I feel that my numbers are good, there's growth, and it's sustainable, good growth. Long may it continue.
Perfect. No, you're doing really, really well. For those that haven't been in here before or haven't met Belinda before, when we first started working together, it was just a concept. You're getting the prototypes for it,
Yeah.
and it is a fucking incredible product too. Amazing product. So I know there's a bunch of people in here, obviously you take their fitness pretty seriously, and athletes as well. I would highly recommend trying out these braces. They're fucking awesome. Very good.
Thanks, Danny.
Pleasure. Kylie, you're up.
Well, I'll second that. I came off an ACL and it was the best product I had. So,
Really?
anyone out there, yeah, highly recommend. So my name is Kylie. I am the founder and host of the 4TG podcast, which is the For the Girls podcast. It's all about empowering the next generation of female athletes. So there's a stat that girls drop out of sport at twice the rate of boys from age 14 to 15, and I want to try and decrease that stat. A lot of that is around lack of visibility, body confidence becomes an issue at that age, and really there's no pathway for women to have a career in a lot of sports that is paid fairly, so they have to give up sport to go and pursue a 9 to 5. So I really want a world where that isn't the case, and I thought about how I can change that. And I myself am a VFLW athlete and an aspiring AFLW athlete, and my biggest thing is I want to hear about the stories that a lot of these elite athletes overcome. I don't want to hear the highlight reels, so I want to hear what injuries they overcome, what setbacks, what challenges, because if they overcame it, well then we can too. So I really want to try and get the best athletes, the high performance people, the coaches, all of those people who have experienced that, to try and give these girls essentially all the opportunities that they can to thrive both on the field and off the field, because sport is so much more than the game. It's really a vehicle where we get to develop life skills. We get to learn how to win, learn how to lose, trust our bodies, confidence, and all those great things that come with it. So I think a society where girls are dropping out of sport at twice the rate of boys is a society that's really missing out. And we see that, I think 94% of female C-suite executives identify as athletes, so it says a lot. As I said, other bucket is I'm a VFL athlete, just coming back from ACL, so 40 months of rehab. It's all going well now. Really want to push to try and get that into the AFLW. It's a bit of an ambitious dream because I'm getting a bit long in the tooth. I'm 27. So anyway, that's all right. We'll get there. And then my paying job is I work for Channel 7 in sports media. So I work for Streamer, which is essentially Channel 7's community sports streaming service. So we're trying to get grassroots sports all the way through to state league sports, televised, increase engagement, and things around that. So it's kind of like a Channel 7 charity product, but it's an awesome product. So my biggest challenges at the moment is that it costs me around $400 to get my episodes produced. I get help like doing the highlight reels and things like that, just because I physically could not do it all. So it's brilliant in that I've got this product that is at a pretty good standard, almost professional standard straight away, but obviously that does come with the cost. But I think it was a good investment in doing that, because already I've sort of leapfrogged maybe 2 or 3 years by just trialing it and doing it all myself. So I've got the opportunities, I've got such a loyal, engaged and rapidly growing audience of girls, parents, coaches who are really looking to increase exposure and increase opportunities for girls in the space. But I need to get better at looking for sort of longer term partnerships and sponsorships with brands that can help make the podcast sustainable, essentially. And ideally, as you were saying, so many things you're juggling. I would love to step away from my full-time job and just focus on the podcast as a passion project and giving back value, and then my AFLW career. So that's kind of where we're at the moment.
Beautiful. No, you're doing an exceptional job with all the rehab, the recovery, and I think in particular, obviously the mindset aspect of it, and showing up and really embodying the version of yourself that you're saying that you want to be before anything has shifted, which you're doing a really good job of, like I said to you this week. So thanks for sharing, Kylie.
Thank you.
Big dog, you're up, mate.
First of all, 27 is young.
Not less than
I'll write that down.
How old are you? How old are you again?
Oh, we're not talking about it. Hi, I'm Jay, I'm 38, and I'm depressed. But yes, my name's Jay. I've been a PT since I was 18. I also model with Darcy, and I'm a drummer. And then 7 years ago, I started an app gamifying exercise. So basically, everyone will have a score. The more you move, the higher your score, and then the cheaper products are. So I guess it's the ultimate dream was to turn exercise into a currency, or make it feel like it's a currency. We launched in COVID, and thank God COVID hit, because I was nowhere. I mean, Darcy actually helped me in this early stage. But the first time I launched this app, like looking back, I was just so underprepared. I didn't have enough money. I didn't have enough knowledge. I think I just was in a rush. Whereas this time we launch in March, we have a team of now 15, some really good investors. And yeah, I think I'm actually a bit, like, without sounding silly, I'm blown away that for 2 years I was so depressed about not launching my app and feeling like someone would come and steal the idea. But being here now, I just feel so much more stable and confident and proud of what we're building. The biggest challenge the whole time was trying to convince, I guess, the people with money that the idea had legs. And I think everyone would understand, like, when it's your baby and your thing, you nearly have to be a bit of a nuffy. And like, when people say, oh, that's a bit far-fetched or that can't work, I think those people are really toxic, and I've learned to just not listen and
Projecting their own limiting beliefs and insecurities outwardly,
like
makes them uncomfortable when they've seen others do what they're not.
Yeah, and like Aiden said at the start, like, you can literally do anything you want. Like, we have the ability to do anything we want, and I think I have an amazing opportunity, unless someone, launches it tomorrow. But I have an amazing opportunity to reward everyone for their hard work and help the younger generation move the way I would have, because my little brother and my little sister just don't. They're stuck to their iPads. My little brother still sleeps with my dad when he's 17 some nights because he's anxious. But yeah, like, I wouldn't have done that. I would have, do you know what I mean? Like, we were outside tired, kicking the footy, running around. Sorry, hello. But yeah, so the biggest opportunity is probably that I guess we can take this into everyone's hands all over the world. My net worth is nothing because I've put every cent and pretty much everything into it. So, but I'm confident. I've never had a moment where I'm like, what if this doesn't work? Because I know it's going to work. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And the time poor thing that everyone's saying, it took me ages to realise, like, I just want to be playing drums on the weekend and doing my app during the week, but it's taken a while to financially be able to do that. So yeah, that's pretty much my life story.
That's awesome, man. It's such an exciting idea. We've obviously had a bunch of chats about it recently. I think with the idea of, like, people finding out about it, like I said to you, it's all well and good for someone to steal the idea, but the fucking work needs to get done, and 99.9% of people aren't going to be willing to do it.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited for you guys to launch, man. It's such a good opportunity.
I think launch date then? Where are you at?
Yeah, so we're going to soft launch. We're actually building it right now. We've built a prototype, but we're going to soft launch, like, I'd say mid-February, and then come pretty hard. April 1st is the date we've set.
And what's the revenue model around it? Like, how will you get? What's the transaction?
So basically, we've got a store. So we've got partners, Platypus 11. Has anyone heard of Unify? Yeah, we're trying to get them.
Tight ass.
But basically, we'll. It was interesting because when the idea started, a lot of people would say, "What's the revenue stream?" I go, "What? We're rewarding people exercise. We're helping people's lives." And there was so much talk about, well, yes, but you need a business also, not just something that's going to help people. My thing was always, if we have so many users, we're going to make money. But turns out no, so we have to come up with some revenue streams. So we'll take a small clip off every sale. So if someone buys shoes, we might get 3% of that sale. But how it works is in tiers. So if your score is 80 and above, you'll get the max discount. and it might be 15% off some brands, 10% off other brands, and then obviously, advertising. There's going to be the app's free, but there's going to be, obviously, everything needs AI these days. So there'll be a subscription-based model. So we have, and data, so 4 pretty good revenue streams. And raising money for the first 2 years was close to impossible, but in the last year it's become fortunate enough, again, without sounding like a wanker, it's been really easy raising money, which has taken so much pressure off, because I couldn't sleep for probably 2 years thinking this idea is great, but it means nothing unless we can actually raise money.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
When you're raising money, what does that do to your equity?
Drops mine, drops all of ours.
Yeah. Because I think that's a challenge for a lot of people.
Yeah.
As you're trying, especially at the start, where you feel like, it's a money suck hole, and the temptation, you need the money to be able to get the developers, but then I think longer term it's working it so you still have control, and the vision and the dream.
And as you said, you want to keep it lean, but I really feel like this is something I have to go hard at, and if I end up with 15%, I end up with 15%.
Yeah.
But I believe it can.
15% of something big versus, and that's the challenge, I think.
Yeah, and I feel like more comes from that also. I'm not. This app, I hope, will get me other places also.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And you're only young. 38's young.
Yes.
Nice, brother. Like I said, I think it's really exciting. I want to make a quick point about one of the things JD said just then. Obviously, a bunch of you I either currently work with or have worked with on the personal growth side of things, but being able to truly embody the future self in every way possible, to the point where a line that I say often to my clients is that reality is always catching up to who you're being. And most people, who they're being is just a reaction to what shit is right now. And so in some way, shape or form, I think delusion is 100% necessary to achieve something incredible like what you're trying to do, or what everyone in here is trying to do. And when you can start showing up from a frequency where it's like you're not reacting to how shit is now, you're showing up as who you would have to be for that desire to be a reality already, then things start to shift. And so the question I always ask and get my clients to ask themselves is that if it fell in your lap tomorrow, would it make sense, and would you be able to maintain it? And I think that just forces you to start looking at how you're showing up to your life and with your structure of your days and your weeks in a way where it's like, does this actually make sense? And I think, we're always getting this mirrored reality of who we're being. And so when you can show up in that somewhat state of delusion, things will shift. It becomes not a matter of if, but a matter of when.
Because you're nearly just convincing people, you're literally trying to make it so they believe you believe you, and then it just happens.
Yeah.
And I feel like everything's like that.
Love it, man. We'll come back to that in round 2. That was good, man. Thank you. Al.
I'm a byproduct of that, having worked with you. I've been the most delusional person the last 2 years, and it's worked out. And Daddy's been a big person in that for me. I was full-time working in marketing, but I did so much on the other side at my photography business. I was running a podcast and all of that. And then I said, fuck this. I just quit my job. I was I couldn't do it. I wanted to do everything that I wanted to do and make it work. So I have what they call a portfolio career. I'm a photographer, an automotive presenter, an automotive writer, a freelance writer in culture and lifestyle. I have an F1 podcast, an F1 apparel label, and marketing consultancy on the side as well. So I do a fair bit, which is challenging sometimes, but no day is the same, which is the best thing for me because that's what keeps me active. Completely appreciate what Aidan said before about moving to Ocean Grove. I'm moving around a lot at the moment. We went to Red Hill for a little bit and it was the biggest reset on my mind. And then now we've come back to Melbourne for a couple of weeks and I actually found myself at the doctor's yesterday. I was walking past, my heart rate was just going through the fucking roof, and it'd been like that for last week. I'd go to bed and I'm fairly fit and my heart rate would be 80 beats per minute, just trying to sleep. And I thought I was having a heart attack yesterday and they're like, no, you're having a panic attack. So they gave me some Valium and I just went to bed and I feel better. But I was like, thanks Valium for working. But it's also a reminder of needing to slow down and going away and stepping back because sometimes you're so in that environment all the time And I am doing a lot of different things and they all coincide with each other, which is amazing. And I set myself this goal of, you know, revenue 150 is normal. Let's try and double that in the next year. And it's a small goal, but it's large for me in terms of trying to make that happen with all the different things I'm doing. And a lot of that feeds back into my businesses. I mean, like Darcy said, apparel's fucking expensive. Like you order 100 units from China and you spend more money on shipping and tax than you do on the actual units. And then everyone complains about, you know, how expensive products are, and all of a sudden you're paying GST, and Victoria doesn't make it easy for us. There's so many challenges within that. But for me as well, you know, 50% of my income comes from the Australian Grand Prix that week. So I have 1 week of the year where I have to make everything work. And there's so much pressure on that now where there is competition coming up. I've been doing the F1 stuff for a while, but there's people with larger followings and I have to prove my, you know, authority in the space more so than just a follower and what that is worth. You know, my content is worth something more than someone with 100,000 followers. And convincing brands and talking to them and being like, this is how it's going to operate. You know, I have to make that work, and at the same time I'm stupidly renovating my house and planning a wedding, and I'm not really about it. So I'm looking forward to those two things being done.
I think on the topic of like that week being such a big portion of the year, I think what you've done in the last 6 months in particular has shifted that. And so it's being conscious of the fact that even though that was a limiting belief before, or maybe it was reality before, a lot shifted in the last 6 months to the point where you want to be looking at it like, yes, that's still going to be a massive week of your year, but there's just so much more opportunity outside of that, to the point where that's that focus point. But yeah, we've obviously had a lot of chats around time management and where you're putting your energy and whatnot, but...
and that's a difficult thing for me because I spend more than 50% of my time on my apparel label and my podcast. That's like at least 30, 40 hours a week. But my money making is my automotive presenting and my marketing consultants and photography, which is like, that could be between 8 to 15 hours a week.
So without even putting any form of like, doesn't have to be logical, it might feel awkward, what could someone do for you or assist with at the moment that would make things improve for you at the moment?
The biggest thing for us at the moment is looking for investors for Principal, which is my apparel label. This is one of our new hats. It's actually a trademarked term, which we didn't know about, so you can buy it from me personally if you like Maxi stuff. But our podcast is probably like, you know, that's where our strength is. We have a really big opportunity for women in motorsport and automotive to take that further, and having that consistent, you know, we've done everything ourselves up until this point, and growing that, editing, all of that. It's 20 hours a week. If someone could just sponsor that full time rather than the odd social post, that'd be fucking epic. Because I'm tired of hustling and looking for things all the time. Yeah.
Awesome, Al. Thank you for sharing. That's good. I'm going to put Brett on the spot. So, guys, this is Brett, by the way, if you haven't met Brett.
Hi, Brett.
Hi, Brett.
Brett does...
Didn't even see that.
Brett's done a really good job of all the content of these, and I've done a bunch of kind of campaign things with Brett in the past, and we've been doing a bit of work together one-on-one as well. So you're up, brother. You can jump in. We'd love for you to share as well.
Do you want me to film you?
Yeah.
Okay, Brett. My business is Content Cohort. I have a background in real estate, but I was doing that. Maybe I'll come around here. Is that better? I was doing that for that's fine. A year and a half out of uni, which is what I studied as well, and realised it wasn't for me. I worked for my uncle, and then had an opportunity to join a mortgage broking business and run the operations and marketing. And the marketing was something that I was really drawn to, and I think just went from that job to living in the UK, did a marketing role there for a recruitment agency, and found photography and videography. And then when I moved back here, I was like, I love that. I think there's a need for it. All these businesses have... I think content now is what not having a website used to be 10 years ago. You're like, oh, you don't have a website, does your business exist, kind of thing. Now I sort of see content as like, oh, you don't have a social presence, then Yeah, we're 8. And I've been doing that for 3.5 years since I moved back from the UK. Also renovating a house at the moment. And yeah, trying to help everybody just sort of build their own things, whatever they're doing. I work with big businesses, small businesses, but just telling their stories. Yeah, thanks for putting me on.
No worries. Do you want to quickly, I don't know if you're happy to talk about it, but the stuff you were sharing with me around some of these AI systems that could potentially help businesses?
Sure, yeah. Well, yeah, I don't need to tell you guys that AI is a big thing these days. I've been really interested in tech and AI for the past sort of 5 years and how it intersects with marketing as well. But the operations side of what I was doing for the mortgage broking business, I saw an opportunity where, okay, the AI stuff lends itself to that really well too. So I taught myself how to use N8N, which is like a drag and drop type thing for automating plug-in apps. So think of like your Gmails, your Zooms, your things like that, that in isolation don't talk to anything else, but N8N is the thing that brings it in under the one umbrella. And it's just really what we're working on at the moment, which I haven't even spoken to you about, is a script and content machine. So once a week, once a day, however many times you want it, this bot goes out, searches Reddit, YouTube, Twitter or X, Facebook, whatever the channels that you want, or people that you say, hey, I want to know what they're saying, creates a daily report, and then based on the prompt that you give it, saying my business is training people or the compression business, I want you to write a script for me that I can do either just walking down the street or in a higher production place, and create that script so you can get stuff out rather than having to think of everything on the fly. That's where things are at the moment. That'll probably launch in about a week's time.
What's the biggest opportunity if you were able to have one, whether it be assistance from someone or someone help you out, what would that look like? Or do you need it?
We're so early in that phase. I've told a handful of people and the response has been quite good. And there hasn't been anybody who hasn't understood it and felt a need for it. So I feel like it's just building out content around it as well, making it known.
Yeah.
And then whether we go down the path of sort of identifying an industry and really going hard on that, for instance, mortgage broking, they've got money to put towards these types of things, and it's a huge market. So we haven't quite decided if we're going to go down one or broad yet, but the MVP will just be sort of finance related. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Awesome, man.
And then the content side of things, photography and videography, kind of do it more to meet people. It pays the bills, pays the renovation bills.
Yeah.
But it's not something that is incredibly scalable. It's me here. I do have editors in the Philippines and Bali, but it's more of a networking thing for me to meet cool people like yourselves.
Awesome, brother.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for jumping in, man.
You didn't need to do that.
Dobbo, jump in, man. And guys, just quickly, at any stage, if you're hungry, there's a shit ton of food up here, so come and eat it.
My name's Mark. Everyone calls me Dobbo. It's a nickname. Actually, it's funny because a very wealthy man one day said to me, "What's your website?" And I said, "Oh, it's innatesolutions.com.au." He says, "It should be your nickname, Dobbo. Dobbo.com.au." I said, "That's so arrogant." He goes, "Well, I got $200 million. How much money do you have?" So my website's my nickname off the back of that. I'm a performance advisor, so I'm fairly established. Like I speak on stage most weeks somewhere, and my clients are. I'm a coach, but I'm not really a coach. Like smart people just want to bounce ideas off other smart people. They don't necessarily need someone to tell them to do 3 more sit-ups. So my work now is that I have quite a portfolio. to be candid, I advise some really senior executives at Nestle and have for 4 years or something. I've got another client that they turn over $500 million a year, and I'm their sounding board, 3 partners, and then I've had athletes at the last 4 Olympics, and they've won a lot of medals. So, I've written a few books. I can't spell for shit. No, I just don't respect the English language at all. I just write it however I want, and spell check takes forever. So I'm quite established, and I think you know, it's awesome here in York what you guys are working on, because you're all at different stages, but you end up getting whatever you want. Like, it's just no matter how long it takes. As far as revenue goes, I can relate. Like, I'm quite private about that. Like, one of my rules is never let the athlete see you do their sport, right? Because they just never respect you again. It's embarrassing. I was at the pool one day and I was just going for a swim, and Grant Hackett was bloody next to me by complete chance. And I know Grant, and I've advised him for a long time in business and sport, but I was mortified. And I was like, I joked, I'm keeping up here for a bit. There he goes, which ones, which laps? And I was like, no, I had flippers on, Grant. And he's like, yeah, but which laps? And I was like, I was just joking. So I die inside about that stuff. Like, I don't let anyone see that. And so in business, it's usually not best to say anything, but because you're all in the coaching industry, like, I had a really senior coach ask me the other day what's realistic to earn in this industry, and you know, you can get to 300k and you're maxing out, like, as far as just pedaling. My model now is I try to get an equity position in the business that I'm helping, or I get a cut, because when I've helped athletes, you get no money for that. Like, I was coaching an Australian swimmer this morning, and I pay for the coffee because she's broke, right? So you do that stuff because it proves that you know what you're doing. Books are a business card. They don't make you any money. They could, but and I don't say this to show off, but like, there's a bestseller on the shelf at the moment that I helped someone write. So I really know a lot about these things, but I've just fucked up more than anyone else, and I just stayed in the business and I somehow survived. But I've learned, like, I don't make money from these things, even though they're very satisfying. But you do try to get an equity position if you can help. And so we sold a business this year. It was valued at 300k, and we merged with 2 businesses valued at 1 million, and we ended up selling it for $9 million. So, you know, I get a cut of that. So I think as I'm hearing you all, yeah, like, you'll get the money, you'll get it. It's just, but I only did it for the love. So I really came late to the party on working out how to get my money sorted. I didn't know how to have a money conversation with people. I was trading hours, not value. And I used to say, like, if my dad takes 2 hours to cut the lawn and I take 45 minutes, should I keep mowing? Like, and then so people say to me, oh, how much are you an hour? I'm like, well, if I can fix it in 7 minutes, should we just keep talking? Or like, what if I just fix it? And so that, and then someone else said, oh, I want to hire you for, at a NAD, he's like, I want to hire for 10 hours a month or something. And I was like, all right, well, what happens if something happens in the 11th hour and I could make a killer phone call? Should I not make the phone call? I was like, can we just, like, so it takes a while to be able to have those conversations. But when I say that about, I don't mean to dangle, like, really, really capable people in my industry. They will look successful, but it's real fucking hard to make money. Okay, everyone will look like they've got a gazillion followers, doesn't convert, right? So you have to have a commercial aptitude, and so I'm very fortunate I've managed to do that now through partnerships. As far as what the next opportunity is, I've just written a book called No Wasted Effort, because I'm lazy. I am. Like, I'm just looking for the easiest, quickest way to do anything. And if I can sleep all day, I'll just sleep all day, right? But I can take that into the American market. So I've been on the phone regularly to someone in the States, and we're just planning out how to go into America if I want to. But my brand is Mark Dobson, or the man behind the talent. I don't have a profile. I've never wanted to be famous, but my clients are. I just don't like the attention. I don't like doing this. I'd prefer to just help someone else, even though I'm on stage a lot. So the next opportunity is going to the States. You know, my fee would be 4 or 5 times what I charge here, which is crazy, and it's in US dollars. So, but to do that, I'm sort of formulating something you said before, is just building the team. Like, who's going to do that? There's so many people that they think they know how to do something, but they don't know, they're full of shit. And so you've got to find out who's the real deal as far as moving there. So that going to the States is probably an opportunity. But it's really like a game. Like, if I go over there, I'm not going to be with my kids, so that's sort of stupid. So I've got to work out a way do that next. So.
Got a question. So do you mean like for, like you would have heard everyone speak, do you feel like you can solve people's problems faster than other people would solve them? Is that kind of a skill you feel? Yeah. Like you look and go, oh yeah, you need this.
Yeah, I know all your problems with your yeah, I do. I know exactly what you're talking about. I get it all. It's not that it's a magic sauce, but I'm like, I get running 3 or 4 things, being a freelancer. I get having 10 different jobs. I get, yeah, and what mistake I made when I was young was I thought I didn't understand that money wasn't just about belief. You had to believe, but I was just so shit at the money side. And I felt like money meant that
It's serious.
or it was like, I loved you, I wanted to help you.
Yeah.
If I charge money,
Yeah.
it makes it not fun anymore.
Yeah.
So I really messed that up. Yeah, I do know a lot about business now. It moves in slow motion to me. So that's why, knowledge transfers. And that's why, like, when you're talking about the belief thing, it applies to every single one of us, like, all the time. It just always transfers. It's the same shit, it's just a different vocabulary.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, man. Go for it.
How did you get your head around the money side of things? How did you get over that challenge of not knowing it?
I think I was just so broke. I went less than $1 for 6 years, and I remember one day somebody saying to me, my sister saying, Mark, we're really worried about you. and I was like, well, the problem is you don't believe in me. And my sister was like, yes, we do. I said, no, but you believe me to here, and I believe me to here, so you're on the fucking way. Right? So I was all gung-ho on my mindset. And then I just was so broke that I had no evidence, so I had to work out how to charge money. And I pretty much got as a money mentor. Some people I would just ask, like, yeah, it's a craft. Like it's a craft. Like self-worth is not the same as commercial worth. Right? You're a great person, doesn't mean you should get paid a lot of money. It's like, how much money can you make someone? That's the way all of it works. The only reason I get paid good money from a company is because I can make them more money. That's the lens to put it through. How much money did I just convert to them? And my rule is I should be able to make them at least 4 times my fee.
Is there any industries that you don't feel like you can do that in, or do you feel like you can do that across all industries?
What's that? Make money?
Yeah, like make a business money. Like, what do you like with tech?
Yeah, I do know a lot about tech. I don't know about the app market, but I am a 25% stakeholder in a software company, and we just sold it. It's going quite well. It's new, but I feel a little bit uncomfortable talking about this stuff because it's like I'm not embarrassed about it if it can help, but every industry has its own strategy, right? It has its own way business is done. So you gotta learn how it works and where the money is, right? Like software is all about recurring revenue. Like your customer is probably going to be a healthcare company. In actual fact, you want one sale to everybody instead of doing all these small units. So, but it doesn't mean it's easy. But you probably just sort of know where to put your effort.
Do you ever find, sorry, don't just like you said, you like to hold things close to your chest, and Belinda, you said this earlier as well. A lot of people tell me to do that as well. And they're like, don't share all your ideas, like people will take it. And I've noticed like sometimes that happens, but then the thing comes back to me anyway because that person wasn't great at what they were doing with it anyway. And it actually gravitates back. So then I'm like, being open is fine because I've kind of been like, I'm stealing that space, putting it out there that's mine.
But what Belinda and I are saying is a bit different. It's about privacy, saying you don't need to know what kind of money we earn. So
I'm talking about more than just money.
Yeah, but I'm saying, no, I'm open with ideas because if you can run with it, you're going to do all the work on it and you're prepared to, that's great. But also I found it's like playing a game of cards. If I play a card, I pick up another one. So if you give down an idea, there's another one coming. Like, even when you do a talk or something, you put your best information in the first 5 minutes. Everyone holds out because they think that they've got nothing later. Just put it in the first 5 minutes and you'll find something for the second 10. Like, so I should reckon just give them all away. Nobody act on them. People are lazy.
Well, because also it like comes down to, I don't know if you find this being a photographer as well. I started quoting a little bit higher, what I should have actually been quoting, and then realised that everyone was going for the shitter photographer because they were like half the rate. and it was just bringing the whole industry down. And in Australia, we have tall puppy syndrome, and we just like that. Like, no, let's just go for the cheaper option.
Well, maybe we'll talk about it later, but if it's a crowded market, like a chiropractor, mortgage broker, whatever, then there's lots of competition, and so that everyone has to go into a price war. But then when you're an outlier product, so you've got to be something that they can't go else. And the other thing is they're not buying a service, they're buying a story.
Yeah.
They're buying your brand. And so the trick is to have a brand where people go, I want to tell my friend at a barbecue that I hired the woman that did X. It's not about price, ever. It's always about value.
Beautiful. Thanks, Sharon. Dobbo. Nice, man. Ilan.
My name's Ilan, I'm 25. I wear a couple hats. So on one hand, I co-host the Big Bros podcast, that's the name, with a good co-host of mine, Jeremy, who is on a bus right now to Strawberry Fields Music Festival, so he sends his regards to you, Danny. We started this podcast around, it'll be 3 years in the end of January, and the whole idea behind it was navigating uncertainty in your 20s and 30s. He's an older sibling, a younger brother, and something that we always cherished was perspective from people slightly older than us, especially when it came to topics related to mental health, relationships, career, and so forth. And what I think has been really special about the podcast that we do is that we kind of blend both of our learnings. So the other hat I wear is I'm about to finish my clinical psychology training, and Jeremy is a practicing physiotherapist. And what you learn from allied health is, even in his role, he's somewhat of a psychologist. Whilst he's treating someone's back, he's also listening to how that person got their injury. And obviously through kind of the work that I do, I'm also kind of taking in all these themes, and we try to implement that through the podcast. Now, what's interesting about it is you learn quite quickly that when you're not established, you're not someone who is of high status, no one's going to really listen to you. So the approach that has worked for us in the last, I'd say, 70 or 80 episodes, or probably for the better part of the last year, is getting on more guests. So we've had a variety of guests from different disciplines. We had Dyson Heppel on a few months ago. We had Clint Stanaway on, luckily, as he announced that he was leaving Channel 9. So that caught a bit of coverage. So we found that if we can talk about that whole idea of navigating uncertainty, but you actually get it from people who have lived it, and just like you said, not just hearing about the highlight reel, but actually understanding the low moments in their life and how that's shaped them, we find that that's the best engagement when you kind of get people on and share that story. In terms of the biggest challenge and opportunity, I would say the biggest challenge is everyone has a podcast nowadays, right? So it's a very saturated market. The interesting thing about podcasts as well, it used to be that you could have not the best production quality and still blow up and become one of the best podcasters. Like, I'm not sure how many of you guys are familiar with Chris Williamson, like Modern Wisdom podcast, or even Diary of a CEO. Everyone kind of starts at a very bare minimum production quality level. What's interesting is they entered the podcasting space when perhaps it wasn't as saturated, so they were able to get more guests, they were able to get more engagement, and as they were able to monetize the product, they were able to there's flow-on effects for everything. So the guests, the production quality, and so forth. I think our challenge has been we started 2023, and in a time where I think everyone's starting podcasts. So I guess the main challenges for us are probably twofold. The first one is attracting high quality guests and getting people who want to come on the podcast, because if we're being completely truthful, we're nobodies to them for the moment because we haven't really established anything. But on the other hand as well, we can make a very good story. We can ask you the good questions. We can ask you the questions that maybe others haven't asked and maybe others haven't wanted to ask you. So we try to frame it kind of along those lines, because you listen to a lot of podcasts nowadays, you'll get someone who in a lot of ways is repeating the same story they've shared, and we try to take a different route. And that's why I really, really like kind of your niche in terms of bringing on young athletes and empowering them and talking about that model, is because people tend to be interested in one thing and want to share their knowledge about that one thing. And it's something that we want to keep doing. I guess another challenge would be honestly just the production quality, because we're not just competing with podcasts in Australia. If you want to be the best, you're competing ultimately with your Joe Rogans, your Diary of a CEOs, and a whole heap of other podcasts. And I think with that, we back our content. So our content strategy, we actually rate. I think what we are still developing, because neither of us come from a creative background, is the production quality. So Jeremy, my co-host, does all the micro clips, does the editing. I do more of the back end stuff when it comes to guests, the networking and so forth. And we kind of work really well as a team in that way. So I think the challenge has always remained the same, getting more guests, and then I suppose just the production value. But the opportunity is great. And I think the last 2 or 3 months we've seen like way more growth than we ever have. And fingers crossed it keeps going, but we have strong belief that it will, and we've got more guests coming up, and yeah, we're pretty happy with the direction it's going in at the moment. So yeah, thanks for allowing me to share.
That's really good, brother. And obviously, I've been a guest on your show and had you boys on mine, and as I said to you when we recorded, seriously impressed with both of you. I think you guys have so much opportunity, and even from the guest perspective, I mean, I dare say, fucking a large percentage of people in here would be more than happy to come on as a guest. But
you're more than welcome, guys. Seriously.
As I mentioned at the start, everyone in here will also go into our larger group from these, where there's a lot of names where you'll be able to touch base and reach out. But I'm sure you're already doing it. But from my experience, man, it's just ask. And if it's a no, or if they leave you unseen, or if they don't reply, follow up. Like there's been guests that I've had on the show who I've literally followed up with every 3 to 6 months for 4 to 5 years until I got them on. And so that side of thing would be, I think, again, there's so much opportunity. But as I said to you when we recorded, I think you should also see how much value there is in just you two recording as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be the guest that's actually going to build the show. What I've actually found with mine is that, weirdly enough, the solo episodes far outweigh most of the guest episodes.
It's funny you mentioned that, because something that Jeremy and I have kind of both spoken about, maybe it's like a little bit of that imposter syndrome that never goes away. And we always say it never goes away, you just get better at telling it to get fucked. But something that kind of both of us are starting to tap into is kind of using our respective disciplines in our kind of work. So like getting Jeremy to talk about the stuff he sees from his work as a physio. Obviously it's all de-identified, but also by the same context, like the fact that I'm about to finish my training as a psych, using the learnings from there and kind of using that, because people are attracted to that. It's like you see short form content. It's like 3 evidence-based strategies to, reduce anxiety levels before X, Y, and Z. And it's like coming from a psychologist, coming from a psychiatrist and so forth. So I think you're definitely right in just kind of embracing who we are rather than having to get the views just from platforming someone else.
For sure.
Awesome, bro. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Das, jump in, man.
Hello everyone, my name is Darcy as well. So I've been an AFL player past 10 years. Started my first 7 years at Fremantle Dockers, so over in WA, and then last 3 years at North Melbourne. So actually currently unemployed though, so that's probably my biggest challenge. Got delisted a few weeks ago, not offered a contract for next season. But I'm still a chance for a train-on opportunity over the pre-season at a few clubs, so should find that out over the next few days, which is exciting. But yeah, that's pretty much going to lead to my challenge. Life's a bit of a shambles at the moment. Not a shambles, but a lot going on, a lot of uncertainty, and it's probably been like the last 2 months. So yeah, but at the same time, it's my biggest challenge. It's also my biggest excitement and opportunity, because I'm so ready for whatever's next, and I truly believe when one door closes, it's the opportunity to grow into whatever's next. So yeah, excited for whatever's next. But off field, I've been probably the last 12 months. I'm starting an underwear company. So it's a performance underwear. So I'm doing it with a mate of mine, Lockie Schultz. He plays at Collingwood, but we played at Fremantle together. So that's been taken up all my off-field time over the past 12 months. Put a lot into it, and yeah, like you said, like what Aiden said, truly believe it's going to work. I believe it's going to work. I'm all in with it, and learning so much along the way. The last 12 months has been massive, dealing with everything that comes along with starting a business from scratch. So that's probably been my biggest time consumer at the moment. But
how far away are you from being commercial? Sorry,
so we're due to launch early next year. So we're only March because of Chinese New Year factory shut down in February. So we have had a little bit of teething issues over the past month with that, because we've got to sort of rush to beat Chinese New Year to get the stock to launch at that time. So
So you've got a product.
Yeah, so I actually
Design
got on a third version of samples, so we're very close. But if that sample's not bang on, I think we're going to struggle for that time. But luckily, we haven't sort of soft launch or put a deadline on it, so we're willing to branch out by a few months if we don't reach that sort of timeline. But we're aiming for start of footy season because it's like a good marketing opportunity. But yeah, it's taking up a lot of my time, but I'm absolutely loving it. It's good. Learned so much along the way.
Two things just quickly. In terms of that opportunity side of things, obviously there's a number of people in here who have been in the e-com space and do exceptionally well in that space, but even just with content and whatnot, like for where you guys are up to, like putting aside the actual stock and whatnot, what would be something that you would need or could get assistance with in the next few months before launch that may be able to be from this room or from the group?
It's a tough one. Like, we have a marketing strategist that's helping us out, and we've got a lot of people in our corner, a couple of mentors as well, which I'm very fortunate to have them connections and to give us guidance on sort of the direction and way to go about it. Anyone in this room, I'm a sponge and want to learn. I want to be full of knowledge. So any sort of advice or anything, it goes a long way. And that's probably what, even just in general life sense, this last couple of weeks, I've just been putting myself in front of as many people as I can, getting out of my comfort zone and having coffees with people to try sort of gain some knowledge on what I'm about to jump into. And I'm all ears.
Awesome. And then lastly, the way that you managed to navigate through this period at the moment, in comparison to maybe how you would have handled it, let's say 18 months ago, what do you feel like is the biggest difference and what's actually helped the most to be able to navigate through this? In the uncertainty, we talk about it a lot, uncertainty actually being a really good thing. But most people feel like they need control all the time. When we don't have control, things go to shambles. But you've done a really good job of it. What's been the biggest shift, or why do you feel like you've navigated so well?
Yeah, to be honest, probably, so for context, I've known Danny my whole life. We're both Horsham boys, best mates with a younger brother, Paddy. And we probably weren't as close until I moved back to Melbourne, I'm going to say. Mm-hmm. So last 3 years I've been working with Danny on the mindset side of things, and my perspective on life and just positive sort of mindset has just absolutely flipped. So I'd always be someone that's sort of negative and everything, and I'd get injured, I don't know, I suppose it's a natural mindset for everyone, like victim mindset or why is this happening? But he's been able to change my perspective on absolutely everything and see the possibility in everything as well. So I've spoken to you about it. Like, if this happened 2 years ago, I wouldn't know what to do. Whereas right now, I'm actually excited by this happening because I know what's next. This is going to be bigger. And that's probably the exciting thing for me. And I'm not sure where I was going with that, but that's the majority of it. Just a positive mindset and everything I've learned through working with you has been huge. And because all I've known is football my whole life. Come out of school 18, I've been an AFL player for the last 10 years. So all I've known is keep fit, train, play, and all the rest that comes with it. So but I'm ready to step into the real world, and it's exciting,
man. It's exciting. As you said, when one thing finishes up, it just creates room for what's next, and it'll be bigger and better. Awesome though, man.
Good.
Thanks for sharing. Rochelle.
Hi, I'm Rochelle. I have a brand called Rocky Rafaela. Your name's Dobbo?
Yeah.
You said you can solve problems?
Yeah.
Okay, try and sort this one out.
Okay.
So, I started my brand straight out of uni 10 years ago, and my story started off, I was battling so many mental health issues as a teen, and I had so many limiting beliefs, like horrible beliefs about myself, and at school I couldn't learn. I was very creative, but I didn't fit like the learning system. So I just started like turning into like drugs and alcohol and living in and out of hospitals, and just like had a really dark like teenage life. And then one day I sat with a coach, and she was like, what do you want to do with your life? And I was like, anything but this. Like, I wanted to change, I just didn't know how. And then it gets better. And then I literally didn't even know, but I loved fashion. I started creating. When I was creating, it like literally changed my whole life. And I was like, wow. And I wanted to create a universe that kind of I would escape to, and there were no limitations. It was this powerful world, because when I designed, like, everything changed. So within 2 years, I hit huge success. I was dressing some of the biggest celebrities in the world, Ruby Rose, Hailey Bieber, all those people. But because I still had all these horrible beliefs and didn't really love myself, I'd hit these huge successes and then hit rock bottom. And it was kind of like this whole thing, because yeah, everyone was like, whoa, you're doing this, but like, I was like, yeah, and like, honestly, like, it didn't matter. I was like, yeah, like, what's next? Like, it was never good enough. So when I did all this healing, I got sober, and yeah, the brand just started kind of exploding in a better way. It was more consistent. And then I think the biggest thing was, I was always like, it was more a passion. Like, I was never doing it for money, like you said. Like, I didn't know anything about the business side. I was just kind of running around to LA, to all these different places. And then I got back and I was like, oh, I actually, like, this is a business. Like, this is what I need to focus on, not just kind of having it as a hobby. So yeah, I came back to Melbourne. I started doing all this stuff here. And I think my biggest problem now is the brand is so interconnected with me. So when I'm not good, the brand's not good. So it's kind of like inconsistent. But I mean, I don't know why I don't have a group or like a team of people. I literally just do it by myself. So me and Danny are working together now on like how to expand and actually run a team, because like I do everything so sporadically. Like, yeah, I don't know how I get these crazy things. It just happens.
Just quickly, do you want to jump in and just share the, if you're allowed to talk about it yet, the event that's coming up that you're kind of putting together for early next year, and if there is anything that could be supported with that?
The PayPal event?
Yeah.
So I've got this opportunity to do like a PayPal event, but I don't really know what to do. No,
do you need live music?
Yeah, I do.
Bang.
Bella's doing it.
Who?
Bella. She from Solution Entertainment.
Half the price over here.
What?
Same musicians.
No, I've got an opportunity to do an event. It's an independent project for the PayPal event, and it's like the 30th anniversary. But yeah, I'm going through so many ideas. What did you want me to talk about?
If there was anything that you could get assistance with coming into the event, because obviously there's a bit that goes into it from a number of different angles, whether it be, you know, activation stuff with it, whether it be finances, all the rest of it.
I just don't know, like, I don't know if I want to do it. That's the problem.
Oh yeah, that's changed since the last 2 days.
No, I do. It's just like so many ideas. I don't know what to do. I don't know if it's worth it. I think like the brand's a bit bigger for what it is as well. I don't want to, because it's an independent program. And I've seen what other people are doing, and it's more like warehousey stuff, and like, I don't know.
Cool. We'll come back to it, but and that's something that we'll kind of, I'll chat with you about what we can share in the group afterwards as well in that regard. But yeah, thanks for sharing. Thanks for being here, Rochelle.
That's right.
Nick.
Lucky last. Apologies for being late for myself on the Westgate Bridge. Didn't want to be on it. Yeah. Anyway, that's right. Got it. So I'm a performance psychologist. So actually, before I start, I've got to say I know Dobbo from, I'm not going to say how many years back, but a number of years back, because I used to be a swimmer, competed internationally at my peak. So we met a while ago. I'll chat to you later about it.
Which pool were you at?
I was with Vic Centre.
With who?
Melbourne Vic Centre.
Oh, were you?
Under Kobe, yeah.
What distance were you doing?
You came in and ran a workshop with us.
That's right.
Yeah.
Did it help?
Funnily enough, it really did. And it's also part of, you contributed to why I'm here today as a performance psych. So I was a swimmer, got injured, tore my labrum in my right shoulder, which is not ideal, and then had shoulder reconstruction, and then tried about 9 months of kicking with my arms by my side and a snorkel because I couldn't use my arms, and then decided to pull the pin on that. Just give me the shits. I actually lost range in my shoulder, so I couldn't swim the same way. But at the time, saw a sports psych to help with transition out of the sport and what the hell am I going to do next. And then it took a lot longer than I wanted it to. Ended up being about 12 years of study. I've got 4 very shiny, expensive bits of paper hanging on my walls now, but got there in the end. So now I'm the team psychologist for the Australian Paralympic table tennis team, and also team psych for Essendon's AFLW team. The goal from day one has always been AFL. I've just always been super interested in the team environments. So I've been chatting with some of the teams recently, some of the men's teams. Nothing's come off yet, but that's all right. I feel like I'm knocking on the door now at least, which is nice. Opportunity-wise and that sort of stuff, honestly, like, I just wanted to hang out with cool people, driven people. I find there's just a lot of general sort of negativity and all that sort of stuff around nowadays, and it's just nice to be in a room with people that are motivated and driven, and I'm sure I can learn something from all of you as well. You all sound intimidating a little bit, so it's good. What else? That's probably about it.
Jump in just quickly, just to give some insight into what you and I have spoken about a little bit around your opportunity and the restrictions of how you actually are able to acquire more business. Because I mean, indirectly, if you're able to, like we've mentioned before, that would obviously help you out a lot, but just explain that quickly.
Yeah, so is it Elon?
Me?
Yeah. Ilan. You'll know soon enough. As a registered psych in Australia, you are seriously restricted in what you can do with marketing and advertising and all the rest. And we've got a new code of conduct that's about to drop in about a week's time as well, which tightens it up even more. So I can't do something like message any of you out of the blue and say like, do you want to have some sessions? Things with advertising, websites, like we can't have testimonials. Like there's a heap of rules and restrictions around what we can do to sort of grow our reputation and name in the space. A lot of it is...
You have an Instagram page.
I do have an Instagram page.
Content.
Yeah, I have to be very careful with what I post.
Yeah.
And the biggest problem that I've found so far with posting anything is the backlash from other psychologists. Funnily enough,
They're animals, some of them.
Savages. You think that because like from time to time I'll have similar conversations with athletes about similar problems, and I think this should be a quick video that hopefully more people can see and just go, oh great, that helps. Not to try to drag anyone into me, just to try to get some stuff out and help other people. And I'll release it, and then sure enough, there's criticism and people talking to me behind the scenes like you shouldn't be doing that and all that sort of stuff. So it's a bit deflating.
You've been
as well.
noticed. I think that's good because people are having a conversation about it.
It depends who you ask, whether it's good or not.
No, there's
I
a
appreciate
craft. There's
that.
certainly a
Yeah.
craft to it. It's actually not
Yeah.
necessarily helpful.
Okay.
It's a weird industry.
Yeah, right.
There's a reason why, because a lot of psychs despise coaches because they'll think that they're doing the work of a psych without the accreditation. So there's a bit of, and especially if they see a coach who's actually advertising and marketing and bringing in clients and then doing the work that they have long studied for, there's a bit of resentment that can build up. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's one reason that they kind of, and then they say, well, it's unethical because the client doesn't give consent.
Yeah, but like being in sport is a classic for it. There's all sorts of people that will come in and out of sport and share what they know about certain things, and that's fine. It's just a very odd sort of space being in psychology. We all blow smoke up our own asses, and then in the real world, like no one actually cares. Like no one's ever asked me what qualifications I have or what uni I went to or any of that sort of stuff. They don't care. It's just like, can you help me? So, and hopefully I can. But yeah.
Awesome, brother. Thanks for sharing. So I am very mindful at the time. As I said at the start, this is a work in progress, still working on the structure of everything, but there's a few things I want to touch on now because I know some of you do have to get out of here at 3. So I think what we will do, to be honest, is I'm going to touch on some of these things that I want us to follow up with post today, and then I'll be in here for the next kind of like half an hour anyway, so anyone that has to leave can. Otherwise, if you want to hang around and we kind of keep having discussion around some of these challenges, by all means do so. I want to share 2 things. The first one is an analogy, and fucking whoever I work with has probably heard me say this about 18,000 times, but there's a reason why I'm going to share it. And then the other thing is what I would love off the back of today, and I'll put this in the WhatsApp group. I get that it may not sound that appealing to some people, but I think it'd be really cool if we're all able to essentially touch base with each person from here today based off what their challenge was, in terms of whether or not you feel like there's something that you can add of value, or even just in terms of a connection. So obviously everyone will have each other's numbers inside the group after this, and I'll put some direction in there after. But I'd love off the back of this to have a bit more kind of follow up and maintain some form of conversation post today, whether it be individually or even inside the group still. So I'll put all that in there after we leave today. But this analogy, again, most of you probably heard me say it before, but it's all around essentially the law of attraction and manifesting or intention, right? And so the analogy I come up with is around a puzzle, and it might sound a bit weird at the start, but it'll kind of all tie in towards the end. So if you were to go to a store today and buy a 1,000-piece puzzle, and the reason why you would buy the puzzle is because of the picture that's on the box. Like, you want to create that picture. You get back home, you open up the box, and what a lot of people tend to do is believe that there is a piece that's fallen out or a piece that's missing. And so you've got this puzzle at home, you've got all the pieces on the table, and it's extremely overwhelming because there's so many fucking pieces. But you're convinced there's one missing. And so for the next 3 months, 6 months, year, maybe even multiple years, all you focus on doing is trying to find where this missing piece is so you can start. What we should be doing is, when you open up the box and all of those pieces are on the table, is it overwhelming? It can be, but that's because you focus on trying to do too much at once. Whereas if you go to yourself, all right, for the next 100 days, I'm going to put together 10 pieces. And that's it, just 10 pieces a day for 100 days. You start putting together your 10 pieces. Now, obviously, there's going to be many days where you have no idea where certain pieces go, but the way that you'll figure that out is by putting together the other pieces around it until it becomes really obvious. You'll get to day 50 and you're thinking to yourself, shit, I've shown up for myself every single day. I've done exactly what I said I was meant to do. I've done my 10 pieces, and you're going to look at this puzzle and think, this fucking still looks like shit. Because it will. But it doesn't mean that anything is wrong. It just means that there is one missing variable, and that is time, because you have done everything the exact way that you're meant to. And obviously, I think is a good reference with this kind of analogy back into your businesses as well. When it feels like you're showing up, and I mentioned before, showing up as the future self. You're showing up and you're ticking the boxes, you're committed, you're consistent, and it might not look like anything is fucking working, but it is always working. You get to the end of that day, the 100 days, and you put in your final pieces on day 100, and there's usually a couple things that come to mind. The first one is that the actions you were taking on day 100, when the puzzle looks exactly like it did on the box, are the same actions you were taking on day 1. The second and most important thing is that when you finally put together that final piece, and you're looking at this picture, every single piece that you needed for it to look like that, you had in your possession since day 1. There was never anything missing. There was never anything outside of yourself that you needed or didn't have in order to create that. And lastly, we talked a bit about the inevitability and the self-belief and almost the delusion. From day 1, there was never a question of whether or not it was going to look like that picture. There's quite literally no other chance for it to look like anything else, right? And so the reason why I like that analogy in particular is because, one, consistency is still super underrated. Like, just the small things that seem boring done significantly well on a consistent basis is always going to compound into massive results. But I think for me, the most important part of that is that last point I made around the fact that you're not missing anything. Like, it is just time and continuing to figure out where those pieces go and just taking action. Like, the focus is not on the 900 pieces that are left. The focus is just on the 10 pieces that you're going to do today. And that is the only thing that really matters. And so when I said some of this homework stuff in the group after, as I mentioned at the start of today, the whole point of trying to keep that conversation going is because I truly do believe that everyone in here can add value to everyone in here. There's something that you have that is of value to everyone else. And not only that, but just building these relationships and connections and networking. Like, that's why we're all in this room, right? Like, if I hadn't have spent time building relationships, networking and whatnot, then I wouldn't know fucking any of you. But there's so much power in it. And I mentioned at the beginning, there's been a lot of deals, like business deals that have been done since we started these in a really good way. So on that note, don't be afraid to ask. Like, that's the whole point of us being here. And so whether it be in the larger group or the smaller one or individually, if there is something that you feel like anyone in this room can help you with, ask, because you won't fucking know it if you don't ask. But as I said, if anyone has to take off now, by all means do so. Otherwise, I'd be more than happy and keen to hang around for the next kind of half an hour, and we can just kind of have a chat. And if there's anything that you feel like you can add of value to any of the challenges or the opportunities that have been brought up today, let's just chat through them. Just not all at once, obviously.
Thank
My
you,
pleasure.
Danny.
And yeah, massive thank you to everyone who has come here today as well. I really, really enjoy doing these, and each time I always take so much away from it. I hope you guys have as well. I know we kind of didn't have a great amount of time to continue the conversation even longer, but I honestly believe that some of the biggest value is literally just being exposed to the way that other people approach their business, hearing about other people's challenges and opportunities, understanding how they got to where they are right now and what's involved to get there. And as I said, like when you have perspectives that aren't all just in the exact same industry, a lot of the time the thing that you're fucking stuck on could be the most obvious thing for someone else in here. And so use that, like leverage the relationships and the networking in here to keep building and growing together. And if there's any way that I can support any of you guys in your businesses, I would love to, and vice versa for everyone else. Like, what you put out is what you get back in return. And so I think, always having that intent to be of value in some way, shape or form, doesn't have to be financially at all. It goes a long way. So thanks for being here firstly. And yeah, we'll, if you do need to go, feel free. Otherwise, we can have a chat.
Sorry, I'm just going to jump in and say something on behalf of everybody. Thank you, Danny.
Oh, no worries.
Because I think all of us have had a great relationship with you in one form or another, for myself over many years, and you're just an unreal person.
Thank you.
And I think we all really love you, and thank you for all the interest that you take in everybody's businesses and ventures and problems, trials and tribulations that we all have, and it's just a really nice thing that I think you do. And
thank you.
Thank you.
I'll give you the cash after.
Yeah,
Thanks for that. No, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And again, thanks for being here, guys. If you are going to head off, please take some food on the way out, or just grab some now if you'd like to. But for those that are keen to just keep having a bit of a chat, is there anyone here that, after hearing any of our challenges, is there something that you feel like you can offer value or advice on anyone's challenge, if that makes sense? That sentence was pretty fucked up, but
I feel like mine was really depressing. I actually have a really good business. I'm just having a weird couple of days.
I didn't think it was depressing at all. I was like on your website here going like, good job. It's
It's great. I'm just a bit weird at the moment.
So you work on your own. You don't have any.
Yeah.
So you do your Okay.
I mean, I have like advertising agencies and like freelance in that way, but very much do it on my own.
I get that.
Yeah, but
It's
I kind of like choose to.
Yeah.
So it's like a double-ended sword in a way, because you burn out, but then like you're.
But I think that creative brain that you've clearly got.
I just need to meet like the other business half.
Yeah, you need the yin to your yang.
That's it.
And it makes a big difference because you're a creative thinker. It's where you get these great, but from a business point of view, that can also be a challenge.
100%.
So having someone that can, pick up the yin and yang.
Yeah.
When you find that.
The way to think of it is like a checkpoint, because like if you feel like you're like not wanting to fully invest yourself into other people, like instead of having that like attachment, I just feel like it might be like you're not wanting to attach to people or entities.
What do you mean by that?
So like maybe like just from what I'm picking up is like you don't want to fully dive into something else or other people or other things because you don't want to get stuck in that,
like
because you're as you're saying, you're that creative brain. Yeah. So like I feel like a checkpoint's like a really good way to think of it, like just a reframe, because then you're not getting stuck in those different areas, but you're kind of, you're just meeting points at certain points where you need to. If that makes sense.
I kind of just want to stop and work for a brand.
Don't.
You'll hate yourself.
I literally
Hate
spoke
yourself.
to this woman today. She's done incredible. She's Pip Edwards. She's got like the and she's like, I've been there. I'm like, I just want to go and work. Like, how cool would it be to work for like a brand like Suzy or something? Like, just to get experience. Like, I've never had that experience. It's just like in the deep end. But that comes with its perks too. Don't worry, I'm not going to do it.
And it's
drawbacks.
Hey? And it's drawbacks as well.
Yeah, I've loved it. I just need to kind of like,
You know the
It's-
biggest thing
I'm
for you
my
is
own
the
problem.
state that you're in.
Yeah,
Because when you're
it's
in the
me.
right state, then your creativity is through the roof. Your productivity, your intent, your action is all there.
I go from like,
It's managing the
it's
state.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very much an expression of my brand.
Yeah.
So I kind of need to step away a little bit.
Jay, just quickly, what are there certain brands or products at the moment that are kind of like on a hit list for you or something like that?
Activewear.
Activewear. What about jocks? Underwear.
It's a form of activewear.
Underwear. I mean, it's anything really. It's more like when the brands align with the other brands, it's smooth. But like anything, like we did a survey of like our target market. People want to save money on everything or buy everything. So it's not just activewear. But that's what I really want to secure one activewear brand before we launch. So that would be it.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Dobbo. Obviously, there's a number of us in here that are podcasters. Do you want to share what you shared in our WhatsApp group? Chat about the recent development with one of your partners and just how you're approaching it.
Oh, the sponsorship thing?
Yeah.
So what happened is one of my clients' friends, she's got a podcast and she kept on asking me questions about how to grow it and she wouldn't listen to my answers. So there was a few people I know that got podcasts that get them all together. Some of them are very successful, but they still didn't want to come to a group. So Dom introduced me to Danny and said, this guide me to get this group together. And I just got 3 or 4 people together. And the general conversation is you have to have 30,000 listeners or something, or downloads or whatever, a month reoccurring. And I was like, no, you can get sponsorship well before that. That's if you use the classic advertising model, where you're going to go through an agency that's just dropping it in randomly. So I just mentioned, I've got a group like this, and I mentioned it to, and then one of the women there's gone, shit, I'll sponsor you in a heartbeat, because she knows I've got a customer. I only have 100 downloads on one episode. Like, it's 100. She's like, I don't care, I'm in. So what I did is I just took how much she might pay, say if I had 5,000 listeners, and I just tracked it all the way down to, well, I've only got 100, so how much is that? And I was like, so let's start paying me that. And if I get more, it just goes up and up and up. And she's like, she saw the price and she goes, it's so cheap, because she'll make that in one sale. So, but I don't mind being cheap because I need to prove the model worked. So I don't mind leaving some money on the table. But when I say I had 100 listeners, I can get more than that. But that was with Emma Murray, who's obviously got Piastri's coach. And,
we had Emma in, she was in one of the intakes in the second or third one. In here? Yeah. Awesome. And so the two of us are talking because we're in the similar industry anyway. And I didn't do anything. I just put it up. I didn't post it. I didn't send it to a database, nothing. That's why we only have 100, so it's probably going to go up a bit. But it was more so a case of just being aware who it's just really who's listening, and then who might want to sell something to them. We just got to make it so easy, so don't try to get a lot of money off them. You're better off getting $5 off 10 people and just have it flowing, just having something. So yeah, that's and I can give you the deck that I created. I just pulled it out of my ass, but I think knowing that money stuff works. I would also add the other way to do it for probably rather a few people. So I was talking to Phil in the States yesterday. He's in New York and he's juggernaut. And he's like, look, he's got a mate that's succeeding in the States, and the way he's doing it is he's creating a forum. So imagine if Danny and I and someone else in this room, we had our own YouTube channel. Then Danny's audience comes in, my audience comes in, and we can populate that under an idea, not under a name, under an idea. Now, if we do that, we're only going to get a Melbourne audience. But if you can set up, say, a YouTube channel that's got that
somebody in America and somebody in England, and you're getting in there and you've got different views, but you're talking about an idea. You're going to just skyrocket because you're just joining three, and it's in everybody's interest. So I guess I just get exposed to these little models, the little tricks that just speed things up. So is that what you wanted me to share? Is that what you meant?
Yeah, for sure. And I think as well, for those that haven't seen this yet, like if you've got a podcast or even just any content on YouTube, like it's really cool now that you can collaborate with another channel. And so what I'm going to do this weekend is kind of go back through all of my guest episodes on the pod, because a lot of the guests that I've had on do have significantly large YouTube audiences. And so you can collaborate on that one video. So it shows up on both of your channels, which I think will actually play a huge role in being able to build your channel a lot quicker, because it's fucking hard to build your channel on YouTube. But yeah, so whether you're a vlogger or whether you've got, podcast content or whatever, I'd highly recommend going in and then creating a collaboration link and sending it to the guests. And if they're happy to accept it, now your video will show on their channel as well.
The other thing that I've done too is I've recognised whenever I get a podcast, a new podcast, it's always because somebody says, not that you should listen, but they usually go, you should listen to this episode. So what I've been doing is making sure that every episode is a shareable topic. So the one I read out today is how to have a CEO, how an EA and a CEO can have synergy in their relationship, in their diary. Because it's a big tension problem. But the CEO will pay me a lot of money, right? So I know that every CEO I know is going to listen to it and they're going to share it to their EA or the CEO. So I'm always looking, and I'm not saying I'm very small, but I'm trying to test things so that my clients can then go and do it. So I think it's also important to think, okay, how does it one grow? Everybody thinks, I've got to get these guests with following on. That's one way, but the real thing is it shareable? Like, is it something that you would go, oh shit, my brother needs that, or somebody needs that? And I don't know I don't know if we always look at it that lens. I think we're looking for one big chess move rather than lots of little chess moves. To your point earlier about the one jigsaw puzzle every day, which I think is a great model.
Even the simplicity, I saw a big amount of growth on mine with just simple call to actions in the episode, like brief one at the beginning, brief one in the middle, brief at the end of something simple. Like, if you've taken at least one thing from today's episode, or if you find this valuable, take a screenshot and share it on your Instagram story. Send the link to this episode to someone that you care about that would get value from the episode. And it sounds very simple, but a lot of podcasts just don't do it. And it's like, if you've got an audience that is listening to you consistently and you just ask for something in return when you're giving them, free, great content every single week, a lot of people will do it, because they almost somewhat feel, obliged to do it, yeah, exactly right. And that goes a long way, because even if this person, you might have someone who shares on their story with 500 followers, like not 500 of them aren't going to see it, but 500 people is a lot to add to, if you're going to get 500 new listeners, that starts to compound pretty quickly. So even just those simple things, I think, makes a big difference with the pod or with any content. Aiden, where are you going to do the event?
Yeah, so initial one's online. So yeah, it's just going to be a Zoom call, chat with Zoom and everything, so they'll host it as a webinar. And then, as I said, that scaling is there to do the in-person ones. But a lot's going to come from the lead-up events as well. So, just getting a lot of people together, being able to make moves off that as well. And I know when it comes together, that's when things are going to start
for sure
coming like with opportunities as well.
So the goal is MCG?
Eventually, yeah. That's not set in stone yet in the plan. That's just the first step is to get to this 100,000. Yeah. Online, which that'll be late next year, around October is the plan.
Plan for MCG.
For their live.
Oh, the live.
Yeah.
Because they usually plan like 3-4 years in advance.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like
if you need help planting the seed, I'm more.
That'd be great. Yeah.
But they like to plan very, very far in advance.
Yeah, and whether it's like MCG or whether it's another state, like if it's Marvel, that's great. But MCG is the biggest, and again, like even just brands that I've spoken to so far that are on board and partners, like there's so much you can do with it. Even bringing like speakers on board as well, that's a big thing. I've got some big international guys on board already. Just confirming those times will be the biggest factor with them, and even, you know, some bands and stuff like that. Like in chats at the moment with Rufus de Soul's management. So bringing in, it's a funny one, their latest album, I'm not sure if anyone follows them here, is called Inhale and Exhale. So very aligned with breathwork, and the reason they called it that was because they did a breathwork session before they wrote the album. So very aligned, and them being able to bring in, you know, some mixes that align with a breathwork state or a meditation is a really cool opportunity as well. And then being able to tie those two things together. So with getting them on in the online sense first, that's that scalability and I guess brand alliance that can help me get to that top end for the in-person stuff. So yeah.
Nice, man. Darcy, just quickly, female Darcy. You mentioned the tiny home.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to look to do more of them, is that right?
Yeah, potentially. It started off as just a off-the-cuff conversation because my partner's a builder, and I've got all these big ideas all the time, and I came home and I was like, let's build a tiny home out of a shipping container. Next thing you know, I went out by myself to this random shipping container yard, chose it, was getting delivered 3 days later. So it took us a year because we were just doing it on our weekends, and yeah, it was a lot of work. But we did it pretty much 95% all of ourselves. But Brody had access to a few trades here and there, like electrical, plumbing, all that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, put it on my family's farm. Dad's carved out an acre for us. Nice. And yeah, it's been going really well. It's off the grid, so there was challenges with that. But yeah, we hope to do more down the line. We did it pretty cost effectively, just doing it all ourselves. But unfortunately, then it takes a lot longer.
Do you reckon it'd be something that could be like replicated, as in like if you were to almost turn it into a product and like have the interior design or whatever all packaged up and people can just purchase them?
Yeah, like I am seeing more and more people doing that. Like there's businesses out there doing that, and people are having a lot of success with that. So yeah, potentially. I'm not really sure. Like if people came to us and said, you know, we want you to build us a tiny home. This is and we would do it for them. Like we would.
I need to picture this. Like my brain's going crazy.
Put the have you got? I'm assuming you got like website or socials for it.
Yeah, we've got an Instagram.
Chuck that in the WhatsApp maybe after this. Yeah.
I'll put it in the group. I'm extremely happy with the outcome of it, considering. Like, we didn't really know what we were doing. My partner is a builder, but he's like a project manager. He's not on the tools. Yeah. So, you know, we were both on the tools and, you know, just Pinterest and all of that kind of stuff, bringing it to life. It was really fun. And yeah, I would like to do more down the line because I see potential. We have had people approach us wanting to do it together. Like, they come in with money and fast track the process and either sell them or do it as Airbnb. So there is potential there. We do have someone kind of knocking at the door at the moment, and we're like, okay, like there's a lot going on, like between my partner and I, like we're both really busy, so that's adding another thing to do. So at this point in my life, I'm like, I really need to just choose what am I honing in on, because I'm so motivated. Like I wake up every day, I'm like, I want to go, you know, and I put my energy, but at the moment I'm going like this to all of my different things, and it's like exciting and, you know, sporadic. Like I feel like I related to that word because I'm very sporadic, and I'm like, I don't know whether it's the creative person in me. I'm like, I like to juggle a million different things.
What do you feel most passionate about out of all that you're doing at the moment?
I like my life. Like I like working for myself. You know, I like the flexibility that my career gives me. I'm really passionate about the clothing. That is the hardest thing out of everything that I do. I find it so challenging. It's so hard. Like, I'm like, why is it so hard? But I love it at the same time. My marketing, like, I love my modelling, super passionate about modelling, don't want to give that up because that ignites something else in me. And then my marketing, like, I'm good at that. So, like, obviously when you're good at something, you like it. And I'm starting to I've weirdly found myself in this niche in the construction industry. It's so random because, like, I'm modelling and then I'm on the construction side doing marketing. But I'm really enjoying that as well and doing really well at that. So, yeah, my thing is just I just love doing a lot of different things.
Sounds like pretty good problems to have, to be honest.
Yeah, it's good. But, yeah, I do need to, maybe time management, like, more structure, I feel would help me a lot. Someone telling me, like, you need to do this, because at the moment there's no one.
I'm going to send you a link to to one of our coaching calls that we've done in the community on like the scheduling stuff that you'll find really helpful.
Oh yes, please. Honestly,
yeah.
I feel like that's probably my biggest thing at the moment. Just bringing more structure, because like I feel like a lot of people in this room probably relate. Like when you're trying to do so many different things, like my mind, like sometimes I'm just sitting in front of my computer, I've got all this to do, and I'm just like,
Yeah, you need a boss. I want a boss.
yeah, someone to just go
Tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I hate being told what to do.
Yeah, same.
But yeah.
ChatGPT can be your boss.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
true.
not good enough.
You can like customize the settings, be like my brutal mentor, and then it stops being a yes man. It's great. I did it for mine.
Yeah, what's that?
I did the same thing.
You did the same thing. I saw like this Instagram post once, which was like, if you want your chat GPT to stop agreeing with you all the time.
Disagrees,
Yeah, because it's always like, oh, that's
Yeah,
a wonderful idea.
It's balance.
It's like, tell me,
Mine always tells me to relax.
did you customize it?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So,
Yeah, so you just set it
I don't know what you've done.
It's to be mean to me. Like, it's
Yeah.
genuine.